Hey, what's going on, everybody? Um, Again, forgive me. Still battling this little throat cold, but just wanted to make a video. And it's not about the youth. It's not about the community. Guess what? It's parents' time. I told you I will hold everyone accountable. And just going back in memory, how what we was taught kind of messed us up. Who was raised where? Who was raised where either you heard, do as I say, don't do as I do. That one I've heard a million times. And and when you did something wrong, you got a whooping or go get them switches. You have to go pick out your own switches. That's some cold stuff. But to that, while I'm breaking it up, I'm laughing because it's old memories, and uh, most of us went through it. But on a serious note, um, with disciplining your children, it's okay to discipline them, and if they deserve a whooping, you know, you discipline your child however you discipline your child. But um, I like to lend advice when you whooping your child or before you whoop your child. Explain to them why you whooping them. Explain to them why you're putting them on punishment. Because if we dig into the psychology standpoint, this kid this kid just getting whooped in their young mind, they have nothing to tie to. No, the proper way is, hey, I told you, when you get out of school, you do your homework, you wash the dishes, whatever the case. Explain to them their error. That's the only way that it can truly be corrected. But the old school parents, my mom get pissed off, and it'll be some small thing I said, and up her hand she go, or she whipping me, and I'm like, what did I do? Well, that confuses a child. You want to be transparent with a child, with your children, child, as much as possible. I'm making light of it because it made me a better person, but also it turned me to be a better father because I hardly whoop my kids. But when I'm getting on them, if their mom call me and I gotta go pick them up because they cutting up at school, I'm gonna have that ride. And the thing is I think our generation communicate better. Son, son, just because you knocking out your schoolwork fast, you smart, I appreciate that. I like that. But you still have obligations to sit in class, be quiet. You don't touch no one that's taking longer than you. You don't do that. You listen to the teacher and you follow rules. If you can't do that, we got a problem. If your teacher called me again in regards to this, hey, you forcing my hand. I'm gonna have to bring out the belt, but I hardly like to with my kids. Um, that free money or them games and all that, or your friend's house, that's out the picture. So I say that to say, you know, those cutoffs, me not being able to go to friends and all that, that was happening growing up. But our parents did a great job with communicating. And ultimately, what happened with that is the child is clueless. The child like, damn if I do, damn if I don't. I don't know what I'm getting whooped for. I don't know what I'm getting punished for. You know, it's yeah. That's something to think about. And back to accountability. Fathers, I get on you later, but I've seen it with mothers. I got sisters and a host of lady friends. What is very dangerous is young ladies. They get into it. I say husbands. Let me put hope and positivity. Husbands instead of baby daddies and all that. But when they get into it, they boyfriends, husbands, and baby daddies. You just take that one thing the child say, and that child getting whooped. But in true essence, that what that child said didn't deem a butt whooping. You took your anger or that frustrated call or whatever your husband or boyfriend or side dude said that made you mad. You really took it out on your kids. And adults are still suffering from this. See, so, you know, these are patterns. These are patterns that has to be addressed. I give you one in my personal. Man, I'm gonna open up my all to you all. So I won't hide anything. You know what will bother me? And it took my grandmother, God rest her soul, to get on my mom and tell her what you're doing is wrong. You need to stop because the power of the tongue is going to take effect and it's going to bite you in the butt. Well, I cut up in school and God rest my mother's soul. She would be like, "Oh, you just gonna be a fucked up. What was she? Let me not curse on this platform. What was she called? You gonna screw. You gonna be a effed up screw just like your dad." Later, I go into a story about my dad background. You know, his time in incarceration, and he's home and he's mentoring. But after hearing that so much when she mad, I'm gonna be an effed up screw like my dad. Guess what? This is where the power of our tongue and psychology play a part. I just started to accept it. And I told y'all in my previous stories, I hit the street young. I'm not saying it's all my mom's fault, but by her speaking those words in my life, it became somewhat true. I didn't go as far as him in the criminal world, but when she told me I was gonna be an effed up screw like him, I used to be like, okay, oh well, I guess it's genetics. I'll be a effed up screw, and if I did mess up or whatever, hey, you knew, you even said I was gonna be an effed up screw, so don't be surprised. So that little mini story, is just something for parents to be mindful of what you say to your kids, around your kids, and communication. You have to communicate with them when they're doing good. Communicate with them, praise them when they're falling off. You don't have to. I hardly ever whoop my kids because I believe that I can articulate and sit and take a ride. I pick them up. Let's go have lunch. And I can deliver my message of what my expectations are for them. And guess what? Opposite of my mom, God rest her soul, I speak like, hey, you at school doing this, or you coming home bringing these grades. You got greatness in your family, history of greatness. You are greatness. You are better than this. You're better than this. If it's tutor you need, I'll pay for it. I'll tutor. If it's something that you lacking, I'll pay for it. Instead of getting a bad report card, old school way, and I got bad grades. And my mom just, you know, I understand. And guess what? In her heart, she probably felt the same way. Craig, you better than this. You smart as heck. But she didn't communicate. She didn't build that open communication where I felt comfortable. Like, mama, I just don't get this science. You know, mama, this history stuff is challenging me. Okay, son, I'll find a tutor, or you can stay late for school for tutor. These are things that are happening. So when my channel, as I present my channel, a better tomorrow. It's not about. This is not just about to be, all about saving, young gangbangers. No, it's holding parents accountable, holding myself accountable, holding the young kids accountable, holding our teens and adolescents accountable. But also, what I said initially on my video, I God will, as I get invited to podcasts, is I'm not debating. I don't want to debate because there's so many people, creators and community activists have different ways of approach. So I'm more intrigued to listen and say, how did you reach that young lady? How did you reach that young man? And I give my scoop on my approach, and we come up with a resolution or a resolve, excuse me, on the best tactics. So so when I say this, anyone want to reach out to me, if there's any intent to have me on a podcast or anything, please understand the outcome must be in place in part of me speaking, because I'm not about to speak 10, 20, 30 minutes on how these young kids have got switches. I guess that's the, the the illegal use that put on firearm, and now they're like assault rifles. These kids have. I can go on and on, but I'm not doing that. I know what they're out doing. I know the guns they're using. I know they're killing. I know they don't care. I know they don't want to listen. But somehow, in our dialogue, we must come to a happy place, a medium of how do we reach them. If that's not in your intent, please don't reach out to me, because, like I said, I believe every child can be reached out and touched. Certain people tactics, certain people approach is different. That's why I am in. That's why I'm willing to work with different people, because different people have different tactics. Long is there a true, genuine cause to betterness, a better tomorrow, in a newer version of this young man, a young lady that's filled with purpose, hope, vision, happiness in a future. But yeah, I won't hold you all, but that was just, a video just crossed, a thought just crossed my mind. I just remember just getting whooped. And I'm like, what am I getting whooped for? Like, So yeah, parents, communicate more. Communicate more with your kids, and they will understand that. I mean, I'm not gonna refer no kids to dogs or anything, but even dogs pick up. Even dogs pick up signs in the nose. A dog can be biting on the side of a couch. The owner tap every time the dog bites on the side of the couch. The owner tap him on the butt. Just tap. After a few taps, that dog will know, oh, me doing this is gonna cause my mama, my daddy to tap me on my butt. So why can't we communicate to the kids? Because after a while, it's like, okay, every time I do this, my daddy on me. Up. Every time I do this, my mom calling my daddy, and he come, and I gotta take this long ride, and I gotta hear him, and oh, I'm gonna have to get a whooping by him, whatever the case is. But like I said, I don't just punish or discipline my kids without explaining to them what's my expectation, explaining to them what they did wrong, and explaining to them going thus far back to expectations, what I want to see from them. That's how I parent. So it's amazing. Yes, they say history repeats itself, right? But but guess what? When you clear yourself, I hold no malice in my heart. My mama was tough as heck. But when you clear yourself and when you're older and you're a parent, you know some of the stuff is not right. So guess what? It's your job now. Now you're a mommy. Now you're a father. It's to rewrite and do things differently. And that's how generations grow. That is definitely how generations grow. Communication is the number one starter. Y'all be blessed. And of course, I'm an early bird, so in Houston it's like 5, 6 o'clock, whatever. But to the world, I hope you all have a great morning, great afternoon, great Christmas Eve. Y'all be blessed. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, follow me, comment. I definitely love reading you all comments, and I do respond. Again, this page is going to be pure positivity. Like I said, if my approach of parenting is different, hey, make a comment and tell me about your approach. I love to hear it, but don't waste your time or my time making comments about my approach is useless and all of that. No, tell me what would be more of an effective approach, and we would have a very intellectual, intelligent, and respectful dialogue. But yeah, y'all have a good day. My morning has started, so meditation and tea and some gospel and yeah. All right.